Hi, I'm Nivedita Mukherjee, and this is Career Choices Unplugged, a podcast produced with Fermata. This series is for students, parents, and educators, those of you who are considering or advising on career choices, subject options, learning, and training. And today's guest is Tripat Preet Singh. Welcome to Career Choices Unplugged, Tripat.
Thank you, Nev.
As is our ritual on the podcast, I have three rapid fire questions for you, which you can answer as true, false, or maximum one sentence. Ready?
Okay.
Shall we begin?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Once someone takes up a certain combination of subjects in school final years, their career choice is cast in stone.
False.
If
Yeah.
someone
Absolutely false.
If someone picks up a college degree for success in future, the person should pick their career that is completely aligned to their degree.
Um, False.
Everyone needs to have teamwork, communication, and networking ability to advance in all careers.
Absolutely right.
Ah, thanks. So let us now get on with our discussion. To start with, Tripat, what do you do and why do you do what you do?
Okay. That's a tough one. Um, uh, I advise uh, and parent uh, people, companies,
Mhm.
work with them uh, through their journeys
Okay.
and learn. And learning is my goal. And that's what I do. I learn.
So what did you learn as a student in undergrad or masters? What did you learn at that point in time?
So I will say these were only hard skills at that point of time. I'll not call it learning. Learning happened much later. For me, I was exploring few areas, and what I learned was uh, probably uh, how to learn.
Okay.
Okay, and the areas that I liked was mathematics at that point of time. So I was a science student in my for my schooling. I did physics, chemistry, mathematics, and I kind of shifted for my graduation. So that's why I answered no, because until 12th I was a science student, and at that point of time I was exploring various options. And the widest choice at that point of time when I was growing up um, was to have sciences and then explore further because that opened and that kept it open. And I was able to decide very early on till my 11th or 12th what I'll be doing. So I kept it open. I um, uh, stayed on kind of with sciences. And I learned much later to answer your question.
Mhm. So you said that you parent new companies, entrepreneurs. What are the essential skills that you have been using from your education and learning that you have continued, or have
Uh,
you added more courses or certificates to do what you do?
Right. So I anchored it around finance.
Okay.
Um, when I decided to do undergrad, I did a BCom. I kind of learned more of mathematics, economics, business, and that interested me a lot. And that gave me um, a further insight to finance when I did my CA. In fact, CA when you do, there are choices of majoring and pursuing work in auditing, accounts, taxation, compliance. There are many options after, but I chose corporate finance. And then I ended up doing an MBA in finance because that interested me and that I kind of again looked at certain core parts of finance which was investing and investment management. So that was my journey to anchor myself in finance as a person. I uh, got essential training, and that's where I learned. During CA, I did a 3 years of internship, and and to answer the question, the interpersonal skills, working with teams, uh, 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 and how to work was my learning. And during my CA, during my early work, and I was very fortunate to have good mentors uh, at that point of time to guide me how to work with people. The only skill that I would say is the answer to the third question, that you need. You're most of the time you're a team player. You have to see where you will come. I'll take analogy of cricket. To build a team, you need few good batsmen, then you need all-rounder of sorts, you need bowlers, you need a wicket keeper, and everybody has to field well. So there are certain basic things that you need, which I would say are soft skills for everyone. Then everybody comes with some hard skills, and they perform their role in an organization. And that's what the kind of learning I had while working with many businesses in different roles later in my career.
So you're lucky to have had great mentors. Now you are a mentor to companies, as you mentioned. How do you stay updated on the new trends and developments in your area? And how important do you think it is for professionals, uh, specifically in your field, to stay informed about the industry because it's changing too rapidly?
Yeah. So I'll divide this question in two parts. One is when you look at businesses can be of different types. And it is, for example, retail is very different from education, and education and retail are very different from healthcare and media, for example. So the core thing in the business remains the core business, the operations of a business. So whenever I choose to work with a team, I very carefully decide and look at the values of people that I work with. So that's the first thing. I need to kind of be very comfortable with people. Um, uh, and I spend considerable time on making that decision and that commitment. Yeah. So the clarity there is I think is the key. Once I've done that and I'm comfortable, I definitely do a course to understand the industry. For example, I went to IIMs to do a course in media when I was doing a business in media and a startup in media. I did a course at ISC. These are small term courses, 7 days to 20 days to 30 days courses, or sometimes 6 months courses part time. I did a course in health tech and using machine learning and AI. I'm a hardcore finance guy, right? So I interacted media guys and see how different parts of media work, how animation works, how that industry is related, how a 22-minute format of TV shows work, how a movie works. Nobody asked me, at the end of the day, my responsibility is to make decisions in finance, and I can do that without even knowing. But my first choice is how can I prepare and learn to be part of a business rather than just being part of the finance team, and that's what gives me pleasure. And I'm very curious and interested always in learning different businesses. So I did retail businesses. Early on, I went to ISB to do a short-term course in venture capital development program when I was doing something else. So that has been my way to learn and to be part of businesses and to understand them. Before I really, really add value, I have to kind of be a learner first.
Right. So, if I could visualize how you have shared for the students, I would say that uh, you have hard skills and you have soft skills, and you have topped it up with continuous learning in whichever area, whichever business, or whichever field you have uh, entered into, irrespective whether you have the foundational skills already or not. So you have actually learned about it. So I guess looks like the learning is the cherry on the top between hard
Mhm.
skills and soft skills. So together it needs to move. Wow.
True.
So
Yeah.
that's a learning. I mean, that's a learning that I can enjoy as a teacher, because our
Wow.
aim is to have and we wish to have lifelong learners.
True. And curiosity is the basis of it. It's um, if I'm comfortable in an area, which I am now in finance, and I've anchored that fully, uh, I need to see how I can apply to different businesses, and that's I think very important to for a successful and enjoyable journey whenever I take the next one. Yeah.
Share a challenge with me, um, something you feel that if you got that challenge at this point in time, you would have approached it differently.
Um, I'd like you to kind of specify again this question, and I'll take that time to read to think again. Yeah,
So if you have, I mean, I'm sure in this entire journey of learning, adding additional fields to your skill sets, you would have faced challenges because that's a part of learning. So is there a
yeah,
challenge if you reflect that you faced it in a particular way? Now that you are in hindsight, you would have faced it differently, and that could be a learning for the students that okay, you faced it in this manner, but if faced again, you would have faced it in, you would have approached it in another manner.
yeah. I think time management and doing multiple things at the same time, because you're doing you can do only one thing at a time, right? Now, the challenge that comes when you're multitasking is to manage time, divide your week or a month or a day in such a manner that you can focus. I have learned it very hard way. I found a lot of times struggling to manage multiple things. And I think came with some kind of honest approach and authentic reflection, saying what all you can do uh, and taking only that much. Sometimes greed to learn can be very, very difficult to manage.
So what
So I would
advice,
say,
sorry. So what advice would you then give to somebody starting now in, say, in your field,
yeah.
a hard skill like you with in the finance, what advice would you give them to help them navigate, um, and make meaningful progress over time?
um, okay. So I would say your ability to balance between the greed
Wow.
and your other needs, because work is part of your life,
Right.
and burning out can happen if you're too greedy and you're kind of, let's say you're a distance runner and you've done now 10 kilometers and 20 kilometers and 40 kilometers. um, you should say and find out a balance, how far you want to run, how long you want to run. And in that manner, I think it's very important to understand your own capabilities and your own, demands in that manner.
Hmm. So if I were to think that if the if, if there are key takeaways from our discussion today, it would be to have hard skills, have soft skills, learn all the time, and balance your time alongside uh, to make your work more meaningful,
Yeah.
have that approach more balanced.
Yeah, I'll add a couple of other things that come to my mind after you summarized. One is uh, planning ahead. So I usually live like 3 to 4 years ahead, looking at the trends in the market. What is exciting that's going to happen in next 4 to 5 years. So, and having that mindset of staying informed or at least following trends, um, and then choosing where are relevant contextual business opportunities in India, what are possible uh, businesses that can come up, meeting a lot of people, knowing what they're doing, understanding what is possible. These two few things um, is key again.
That was very insightful a discussion. Thanks for making time, Tripat. I'm sure there will be questions and people would like to connect with you. So
Yeah,
with your permission, I'll put the LinkedIn details of yours in the description box. Uh,
sure.
and
I'm very
students,
happy.
yeah, great.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
people can find a mentor or they can sound off certain things with you. And for students, you can also ask for the kind of careers you would like to be featured in this podcast as comments. And I, along with Farmata, will try to bring them to you soon. So, and to
Wonderful. I'll be very, very happy because I love interacting with the students. I'm a student myself, and I'll be very glad if I'll be of any help to students and their answering their queries. Yeah,
perfect.
and thank you, Nev.
Thank you. Thank you. To stay informed of the next episode, just subscribe to the series and click to the bell icon. Thank you. And thank you, Tripat, very much again.
Welcome. Thanks a lot. All the best.